Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on preserving account integrity and reducing risk with SpyCloud's consumer risk protection. In this webinar, we'll give you more info on who SpyCloud is, the challenges that teams are facing in solving for protecting both their customers and their brand, and what business outcomes you can expect with SpyCloud. So SpyCloud's mission is to help you disrupt cybercrime by enabling you and your teams, whether it be security, fraud, or even application and product teams, to act on what cybercriminals know about your business and your consumers. And while we solve for a diverse set of use cases focused on leveraging our darknet telemetry to safeguard digital identities, today we'll be focusing on SpyCloud's consumer risk protection solution. And criminals are increasingly motivated to exploit customers' poor cyber hygiene and to discover new ways to profit from account takeovers, both the traditional use of breached credentials to log into customer accounts, but also emerging sophisticated techniques like session hijacking. So businesses need direct insights into their customers' exposures that include authentication or access details, including credentials and cookies leaked in breaches or exfiltrated from malware-infected devices. And with SpyCloud, your customers' exposures don't have to affect your business's productivity or your bottom line. So let's get into some of the challenges. So account security is paramount today more than ever, and with customers relying on brands to safeguard their sensitive information. But it's human behavior that plays that significant role in driving account risk, as individuals often unwittingly expose themselves to cyber threats through their actions. And this necessitates proactive measures to address vulnerabilities and protect against various forms of attacks. So how do you balance then customer expectations versus how they behave online? So customers expect brands to keep their accounts safe, but their actions contribute to that risk. And individuals often use weak passwords or reuse them across multiple sites for convenience, inadvertently increasing that vulnerability. The next one is credential stuffing attacks. Cyber criminals leverage compromised credentials and automated attacks, gaining unauthorized access to accounts across various platforms. So security teams must implement checks during account creation to identify previously exposed credentials and mitigate the risk of automated attacks. When it comes to the rise of sophisticated malware campaigns, malicious actors are enhancing malware campaigns, leading to an increase in phishing schemes and malicious downloads. And these attacks compromise devices, and they facilitate the theft of sensitive information, including authentication data. So you really have to shift that focus to prevention strategies, and security teams need to detect malware-infected users and stolen cookies to prevent those emerging forms of account takeover like session hijacking and to safeguard their user accounts. So too much data, not enough context is another challenge. But in this ever-evolving landscape of cybersecurity, the challenge lies not only in the sheer volume of data, but also in that contextual relevance. Without sufficient insight into the circulation of sensitive data on that darknet, including stolen authentication data like passwords and session cookies, organizations remain vulnerable to account breaches and fraudulent activities. So you need that visibility and that contextual understanding. Lack of visibility into credential, identity, and financial data on the darknet allows attackers to exploit vulnerabilities without triggering existing security measures. And traditional monitoring tools often provide outdated information from the surface layer of the dark web, rendering it ineffective in preventing timely responses to those threats. And that timeliness is key. So intelligence on data breaches becomes stale quickly, increasing the likelihood of attackers having already exploited it and taking advantage of that compromised information. So the recency and the severity of the breaches determine the urgency for criminals to monetize that stolen data, necessitating real-time monitoring and response capabilities. So when it comes to the mitigation strategies, you need a comprehensive overview of exposed data and its severity, and it's essential for mitigating the impact of prior exposures, but also in preventing future breaches. And real-time alerts, high-fidelity alerts, enable proactive measures to prevent account takeover and fraud as those criminal tactics evolve. So when it comes to challenges of data overload, security teams are inundated with excessive data, and more isn't always better. And it hinders their ability to effectively analyze and respond to threats. So operationalizing risk insights requires advanced analytics and next-gen threat intelligence that can be integrated seamlessly into existing workflows, but without adding an extra burden on your resources. So when it comes to the emerging threats, there's often a false sense of security. Often relying solely on reacting to known threats isn't sufficient. And with emerging and constantly evolving threats, organizations must proactively anticipate and adapt to stay ahead of cybercriminals. And this is especially crucial in addressing the threat posed by malware, which is rendering traditional security measures ineffective. So you have to be continuously vigilant and adapt your techniques and resources. And that dynamic nature of cyber threats requires organizations to constantly monitor the widening gaps in their tech stacks and exposure vulnerabilities across their entire customer base. So strategies must be adaptable and stay ahead of adversaries and really anticipate potential attack vectors. And malware has a huge impact on security solutions. Infostealer malware deployments are undermining the effectiveness of conventional account security solutions. And previously reliable measures like MFA are circumvented by malware exfiltrated session cookies, facilitating advanced account takeover attacks like session hijacking. So those sophisticated ATO techniques, it happens when a stolen session cookie is used in an anti-detect browser to execute a session hijack, an advanced account takeover technique. But this bypasses traditional security measures such as passwords, MFA, even passkeys, highlighting the need for advanced threat mitigation strategies. But all of this, you also have to consider the customer experience and how do you minimize that friction in that customer's digital experience. And balancing stringent security measures with user experience, it's a formidable task faced by most teams. And this kind of equilibrium is crucial for fostering brand loyalty, for customer trust, and optimizing your business's productivity. However, achieving this balance means navigating the fine line between fraud prevention and customer satisfaction, as any disruption can lead to lost opportunities. So it's imperative for security teams to make informed decisions swiftly, but without introducing unnecessary friction into customer interactions or operational workflows. So you want to focus on that balance between security and user experience, and striking that right balance between robust security measures and user-friendly experiences is vital for brand loyalty, but also for business growth. And interruptions and friction in the digital journey can result in lost conversions, highlighting the importance of a seamless user experience. So you have to also make those decisions in real time without friction. Security teams really have to be capable of making rapid decisions in real time without impeding customer interactions or even operational processes. So you have to take action with confidence and ensure a smooth experience for customers while maintaining efficient risk evaluation and mitigation processes. But you also want to make sure that there's differentiation for tailored experiences. Adopting tools that can differentiate between low and high risk users enables businesses to tailor each customer experience appropriately. And by maintaining low transaction review rates and minimizing the risk of chargebacks and fraud, organizations can drive business forward while also preserving customer loyalty and trust. So as criminals exploit stolen data from malicious activities, from fraudulent transactions to identity theft, the security of customers' accounts and their personal information is a top concern for security teams. This surge in stolen personal and authentication data traded on the criminal underground, coupled with sophisticated criminal tactics, presents security practitioners with an ever-growing challenge. How do you distinguish between a legitimate customer and a criminal using stolen information? So how we protect our customers and our business has to evolve just as rapidly as the tactics that bad actors are using to infiltrate and steal data. And it's often a collaborative effort across multiple teams, from application security, information security, fraud, identity, governance, risk and compliance, and security operations. And it's on those teams to build programs that reduce risk while also maximizing business productivity and maintaining low friction for customers. And with SpyCloud, our goal is to ensure you can keep your customers' data safe, maintain your brand reputation, but also prevent fraudulent activity. And how we do that is by giving enterprises actionable intel fast. With the largest repository of recaptured data of digital identity intelligence in the world, SpyCloud gives you actionable insights on breached credentials, malware exfiltrated authentication data, and exposed PII powered by cybercrime analytics. SpyCloud's cybercrime analytics engine delivers high-volume recaptured data from the deepest layers of the darknet, curating, analyzing, and enriching it with actionable insights to deliver really only the most relevant and high-quality information to security teams. Then businesses can in turn increase operational efficiency by reducing noise and streamlining otherwise manual processes. And we have over 220 supported data types tied to a user's digital identity, including sensitive data beyond just username and passwords. And this includes physical addresses, dates of birth, government IDs, IP addresses, credit card numbers, expiration dates, and more. And unlike many other solutions available, we deliver about 90% of our passwords in plain text. So how does SpyCloud help you with your goals? The first one is you want to get insights that drive those confident decisions. SpyCloud provides a comprehensive view of your customers' risk by analyzing billions of data points exposed in data breaches and malware infections, and correlates them directly to your user, eliminating the guesswork so you can act on what criminals know to protect your consumers' digital identities. The data is fresh and actionable, having been recaptured within days of the breach or infection, which is a stark contrast to existing solutions that often lag behind by 8 to 12 months post-breach. Additionally, SpyCloud offers what no other solution on the market can: the ability to identify the highest risk customers whose devices are infected with malware, and the unique authentication data like valid stolen cookies that are in criminals' hands. Identifying and invalidating compromised cookies is a critical component of modern ATO prevention. The next one is you want to automate ATO prevention with a frictionless digital experience for your customers. And while SpyCloud maintains the world's largest database of recaptured data, we believe in efficiency, not overload. Our data is curated, stripping away the noise, adding valuable context, cracking passwords, and directly correlating to risk. So the result is you get actionable insights that you can integrate into your decision-making workflows. Teams can leverage SpyCloud's API to implement automated actions like enhanced authentication or password changes or session logouts to invalidate stolen session cookies, denying risky transactions, or accelerating low-risk users through their digital journey. SpyCloud really promotes a friction-only when necessary approach to ATO prevention without the constant need for manual intervention. The next one is that we talked about earlier is tailoring the customer journey based on known exposures. Exceptional customer experiences are key to retaining loyalty in a market saturated with options. And SpyCloud's underground risk analytics make it easier to tailor the customer journey, balancing a friction-free experience for low-risk users, while high-risk users are flagged for scrutiny or subjected to enhanced authentication or approvals. So SpyCloud's data gives your team essential insights, facilitating process continuity, vigilant interaction monitoring, and proactive fraud decisions for secure and seamless customer interaction. You also want to build trust by notifying customers of exposures and show them the added value that your solution delivers in protecting and safeguarding their digital identity. So As a security team, one of your primary responsibilities is to protect consumer accounts, but it's equally important for consumers to play their part by adopting better security hygiene. And that often requires empowering users through education when their data is exposed. So, notifying customers of third-party breaches, exposed or weak passwords, and malware infections is becoming more common, and it really helps businesses build and foster trust with their consumers when done the right way. SpyCloud also offers best practice guides along with sample messaging that your teams can use to notify your customers of potential risk and offer the best guidance on remediation of those exposures. So SpyCloud ensures that enterprises have the right data at the right time to protect their consumers and their business, and leveraging darknet data to prevent account takeover, forecasted targeted attacks, and predict fraud tied to malware. If you want to learn more about SpyCloud, the solutions that we offer, or to see a demo, visit spycloud.com. And thanks for joining our short webinar today.